Hello and welcome for a new presentation, this time for Routine 2.2. So Routine 2.2 comes with a lot of new fixes and features, so I'll try to be brief to cover the most important ones. The first one is the MCP server. So if you go to settings and then plugins, you will see here that you can enable the MCP server. The MCP server for routine runs locally on your machine, which has some advantages, which is that you can connect a local AI, for instance, but it doesn't run in the cloud, which means that you cannot use routine MCP server with something running in the cloud. It has to run on your computer, which is safer. So that includes ChatGPT Desktop, Claude Desktop, Cursor, or Codex. All of those tools can be used with Routine's MCP server. And so I won't go into the details of the setup, etc. We also have a lengthy description on the website to explain how to connect each of the tools I've just named. So do not hesitate. The way it looks then, when you have then something like Claude running, is that it's going to connect to the MCP, and you have to configure it, obviously, and then you will see something like this, which is routine here. And then from that point, you can say, okay, what tasks do I have to do today from routine? Something like this. And it's going to use the tools provided by routine and fetch everything. As you can see, it's using the tools, found the tools, list the organization, list the task for today, etc. It find the task that you have here in your agenda. So all good. So that's the first thing. Then we introduced the ability to reorder your task. So you can see that if you hover like this, nothing appears, but if you stay for a second, or if you select a task, you will see a handle. A handle allows you to reshuffle basically your tasks. It works for some lists, but not other. Like the overdue, for instance, it's not possible because those are already sorted. Likewise for upcoming. The inbox, same thing, because it includes many things like events and notifications, etc. But you can also use this in the task for your team space, for instance. That works as well. Then the integration tasks. So if you go to settings and then integrations in the task sections, we have added more of those, including ClickUp, FeatureBase, Atio, so that you can use those tools and basically manipulate entities from those tools as tasks in routine, which is really useful. Then we've introduced event coloring. So let me explain what that means. So if you select an event, let's say that one, you will see now a new color thing here. And it's actually the same thing as the calendar for now. But if you hover over it, it will tell you actually how it's being computed. And you can click it to bring brought to settings and calendars. And you have this new section here. So the way it works by default is this, is that the color of the event is based on the color of the calendar, which was what was used before. You can see the values here if you hover over it. But you can change it to have to use the labels, for instance. Note that the task is for coloring the allocations, which is if you have a task here, like let's say this one, and you put it in your calendar, that's an allocation, it's a task. And so this as well follows another coloring system, which you can define here. It doesn't have to be the same. So the event follows the labels, the task follows the calendar in this instance. So you can see this as the same color of the calendar, and this one has the same color as well, simply because you don't have any label. But if I pick a label like work, it's going to change to the color pink because the label is in this color, as you can see here. The color is here. So that allows you to not set the colors manually, but rather to have something which is computed automatically. And you can go further. You can actually use something like following relations like this, for instance. So here, every event has a relation property to an objective, which also has a to a project, which also has a relation to an objective, which has a color property, which you can find here. If you go to objective, you will see a color property, which is nothing more than a select with different values and a color associated with it. And so this way, now this actually is defined not by the label, but by the project. So let's say zeta here, which then itself, if you open it, as an objective, which is getFit. I can open it, and in getFit you have a color, cyan, which is not really cyan, but anyway. And you can see that that's how it's being colored. Now, if you wanted something very simple, let's say I don't really care about that. I want to be able to set my color manually every time. Go to types, go to your event type here, and then add a color like this. I've added it already. You add a color, you just define the values, could have blue. And once you've done that, you save, you go to calendars, event, and you set color. And that means that now every event will take the color of the color property. So if I put green, now the event is green. If I put, I don't know, there is a bug, sorry about that. Pink, then it's going to change to the color in question. So all of those are following basically the value of the property. So you can basically assign a color directly if you want to. Then the views. We've changed a lot of things in the views. So if I show you something like, what can I do? Here, do I have like customers? Here. So we have introduced new layouts, I will show you, but we have also improved the groupings. The first thing is that now if you go to the type, so let's say customer, you can change the order of the properties. If you have a select property like this one, you can change the color of each one. You can change the order of those things as well, of the values. So all of that will be saved and honored in the view by default. Then you can drag and drop from one value to the next. You can change the grouping as well, so that you can hide some columns or even hide all the ones that are empty. And you can also reorder the column as well. So all of that is really, really handy. As well, you have those very quick plus to add a value or the new as well, or you can actually hide the column or edit it very quickly as well. So all of that is great for managing your views more easily. Then let's look at everything, including the new views. So let me create a new page, new views. Here you have a new view, which is the activity one. So the activity view allows you to pick a database, let's say the task database, to pick a property, let's say plan 4, and then to pick some ranges up to 4 to represent the number of occurrences. And you can see that it's going to show you something like this, where for each one it's going to tell you, okay, on May 1st, 4 occurrences, which is 4 tasks were planned for that day. And that's how you can visualize anything. You could create a database of habits or a database of contribution from your team, basically anything that you want. Likewise, you can use the feed layout that allows to visualize very easily something as a scrollable visualization. So it's good if you have a lot of text, obviously, otherwise it's not really useful. And you can obviously configure it, for instance, which property acts as the notes, if you want to preview or view everything, etc. And that way you can actually view all of the content of all of those objects. In the notes, we actually also improved a few things. We introduced a plus symbol to create new objects very quickly, so a task or whatever you want. And the @ has been now changed to aggregate everything about linking. So that includes using an integration, that includes the stamping, that includes referencing object in your system. All of that can be done with at as well as mentioning your colleagues. Here I am in my personal space, so there is no colleague, but if I were to do it here and I'm opening this task, then I can do it here and I can mention people. So very useful as well, because you only have really three things, which is the slash, the plus, and the at. Then the calendar and the agenda have been further made consistent. So let's say I've got a task here for the week. I can sit here for my calendar, but we've added this section, which is today. This way, if you want to really use the calendar as a primary way for managing everything, it works. You have the task of the day, the task of the week. You basically have everything. And we've also added the task of the week inside the agenda, so that, again, if you want to see what you have to do this week, you have as well everything in the agenda. Then the calendar have been also improved with this, which is that now you can select all the layouts. We also fixed the bug that we had with the time zone, sorry. But this is really useful because you can really define what views you want to use. So once you have defined them, then you have the three buttons to really quickly change between the different layouts. So really, really great. Something else that we've made is the ability to take a task and put it in an event, which was possible before. But now, as you can see, we display a quick summary of everything that you have to do in the event, which is really useful for, again, overviewing very quickly what this event will be about. And finally, we've got an improvement on the task for your team. So let me explain. By default, your task has three statuses, which is to do, completed, and discarded, exactly like the task in your personal space. But you can go to settings, go to your organization, to your types, and then to the task type, and you can change the status by adding more of those statuses. So you could say, I don't know, abandoned or whatever. Now, if you do this and you save, that means that those statuses are basically allows you to express more than just to do and completed and discarded. So when you have a task in your space, in your team space, you can see that here in the status, you can set all of those possible values. What we've changed is that now, so if you complete, you can see the tick is happening, discarded, it's crossed, all of that is working. But now for the other statuses, we color the checkbox so that it's clear what the checkbox actually means. So it's good because when you are here, you don't want to open all of the tasks to know what this checkbox actually means. Also, if you hover over, you will see backlog written so that you know what this checkbox actually means. But even more, you can long press and you are actually able to set or even visualize the value so that you don't have to, again, open the task every time. That's it, it's all already. The next version will bring more MCP, this time clients, which, by the way, can already be used, but it's not completely finished, so that's why we didn't include it. But if you want, you can go to integrations, AI, and then you can use MCP. And that will allow you to use MCP clients, which are basically installing other MCP servers to interact and let AI interact with other services out there. So all of them, basically. That's it. Thank you.